All right, everybody, it is July 6th, and we've got the next special event. I believe this is the last one for the current version, 8.5, and it is a rerun limited time series for Ferrari 488 GTE Evo AF Corse. This is, of course, the 2019 version. And it's featured in 2019 season of Endurance GT Racing. So in that class, because the 2020, this year's current version of GTE cars are really, really boring because they're so slow. 2019, these cars are the best one the game has to offer. This along with the Ford GT Le Mans that we just wrapped up the limited time series for in the matter of a few hours ago, which I did manage to wrap up because the as I said in the previous playthrough series, I had extra time left over. I thought it was gonna be end, and apparently they gave me one more day. So considering that these limited time series, if you're really determined to finish it, it should take you about 2.5 hours. So without counting the time for upgrade. So this one is going to be more or less the same scenario. And the Ford GT Le Mans, I don't think I needed to service it once. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll find out. And this one, well, obviously, it's currently open, and it'll run through the July 12th. That is next Sunday, so a week. And what else? So depending on, I don't think they're going to extend this one like the Ford. So check your time zone. If you're in US, I think this might be the possibly, or I'm thinking it's going to be Saturday expiration, the 11th of July for those of us in the Western Hemisphere. But who knows? Their headquarters, the Fire Monkeys headquarters in Australia, but the parent company, Electronic Arts, is US based. So I don't know whose time zone they're going by. Traditionally, it's been Australia. So I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, 85 gold is the extra gold reward for running through this event. So that's essentially the same reward as the last limited time series, the one for Ford Le Mans, Ford GT Le Mans. And the PR requirement's the same, 90. Although, because this one, Ferrari, starts with a higher PR by 0.1. It'll still upgrade cost. It does not make a difference, but you will end up with the PR 90.1. Cost is going to be the same, 520 gold and 3,176,600 racing dollars, which will take total of 3 days and 12 hours to complete those. Unless you watch a lot of ads, then you can obviously shorten that wait time for the upgrades. You know the drill. And upgrade tree, same as the Ford. So max out engine, 5 upgrades, and get 3 upgrades on the remaining 6 categories. All right. Yeah, the cost of the car is exactly same as Ford, 680 gold. Base PR, as I said, is 0.1 PR point higher, starting at 79.3. And maxed out, it goes all the way up to 92.3. Service time, 3 hours. So let's hop in and find out, right? So Ferrari 488 GTE Evo AF Corse Championship Earn a 2018 Ferrari 488 GTE Evo A of Corse by 100% completing this special limited time series. Ferrari's updates to the World Championship winning GTE racer paved the way to the 488's maiden victory at Le Mans 2019. Right. So, if you already won Ford GT for the season 2019 season, then you don't technically need another car to complete that season. Every motorsports season, you only need one car. But having multiple cars, of course, will speed up the process since, when one car goes into critical condition, you can put it in for service and swap the car and get the other one and kind of alternate, right? So more cars you have in your garage, obviously, those are some of the benefits amongst many other, like you get to actually race different cars, which is kind of fun because they are supposed to have different driving mechanics. I don't know. In normal gaming situation, it makes that much of a difference. Really, the times when it makes a difference is when you have like team challenge for top speed, or when you have time trial, like weekly time trials. Usually there is one car that fares better than the rest featured in the week, right? So yeah, it's kind of track dependent, right? If you're really picky about it. Anyway, the 85 total gold reward, which is same as the one that we had for Ford, is broken down the same way. 25% completion increment, 8 gold for first 25% completion, and 18 gold for 50%. Another 25 for 75%, and 100% of course gives you the remaining 34 gold plus the car if you don't have it. If you have it, you just win gold. Let's see. Yeah, and if you won this car from the last time we had limited time series last year, then your PR most likely would be like 89.1. That was what was required last time, or 89 basically. Yeah, but because this one has 0.1 higher PR than the Ford, you would end up with a PR 89.1. I think that's how it ended up. Then in order to 100% with that PR, you should be able to get through tier 13. So that is good enough for 75% completion. So if you don't want to spend any more gold and you don't have if you don't necessarily have to upgrade this car and complete this limited time series because you already have the car and maybe you've already completed the 2019 season like I did using a different car. In my case, my Porsche 911 RSR is fully upgraded, so I went with that one since you only need one car to complete the season. In which case, maybe you just want to pick up some extra gold with the upgrades you already have, because 100% completion reward, that extra 34 gold, it will cost you 145 gold to reach that point if you already have the car from winning it last limited time series, right? So that is not enough to justify. I think it's better to wait for upgrade discount if you want to put more upgrade on this car, because typical upgrade discount, what do we get? 30% discount, right? And the 34 gold in 145 is not quite 30%, so it's not as good of a deal, I feel like. So that's my 2 cents on that one. So just like the last series, I'll put the link to the 2019 season playthrough and also the last limited time series or last year's limited time series for this car in the description box below. So if any of you guys interested in comparing or just reliving the past, then there you go. Anyway, let's confirm the PR requirement by using the gold to complete the series right away. All right. There we go. I think I put the first tier racing dollar upgrades on this car already, sort of like how I did with the Ford, so at least I can save some time and some racing dollars. Right, yeah, I have 7 upgrades already on board, so my PR is 82.6, and that is the limit of the racing dollar upgrades. So, final tier at Dubai. PR 90 is required, as I was saying. So, yeah. So here's a funny thing about this car. You might, let's get 3 upgrades across the board, because that's necessary. 65 gold here for engine, and we'll get the 1-day wait time engine racing dollar upgrade that comes afterwards. 60 for drivetrain, 48 for body, 55 for suspension. So the cost is exactly same as the last car, the Ford. Right, so once you get all those upgrades done, 3 upgrades across the board. Wait a minute, that's not 3 upgrades across the board. There, I was gonna say. Let's try that again. Brings your PR up to 89.1, and at this point, you need to go with the engine. You might be tempted to go with the body, because it looks like, you know, this is gonna give you enough PR boost to reach the PR 90, but it doesn't, unfortunately, because otherwise you would be able to save some 35 gold, but no, that ain't happening here. So you have to go with the engine, which brings your PR up to 90.1, and that is also going to allow you to complete more than 75% of the 2019 season of Endurance GT Racing series. So that's other, like, what is it, some 40 some gold that you can win. Yeah, so that is the upgrade tree and the cost, I guess, breakdown. So now with the remainder of the video, let's check out the series itself. Tier 1, we're starting with a drag race. Alright, a Porsche test track. And then we got Endurance at Melbourne. Tier 1 Cup is at Brands Hatch, 3 laps. And Tier 1, no PR requirement there. Tier 2, we got a head-to-head at Dubai International, single lap as expected. And elimination at Bugatti Circuit. And it's an elimination, so you have to survive for what, 2 minutes 20 seconds? Is that right? 140 seconds, right? And Tier 2 Cup is at Suzuka Grand Prix, just a single lap with a PR 81.3 is what's required. So obviously you do need some of those first tier racing dollar upgrades done in order to get through Tier 2. And Tier 3, we got Hunter at Monza Road Course, so that's a full lap. Your car would be in critical condition by the time you reach this point then. And then we got Autocross at Silverstone International. And the cup for Tier 3 is at Red Bull Ring National Circuit. 3 laps, PR 82.3 is required. And Tier 4 got Speed Snap at Spa, Speed Record at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, and the cup at Mount Panorama. Single lap, PR 83.1 is required, which is beyond what you can do with the Racing Dollar upgrades alone. So, as you might have guessed, no free gold from this limited time series. And Speed Snap and Speed Record are typically the 2 events that might force us to service the car if running through a series unserviced is part of how you play. That's part of how I play. Yeah, Speed Snap and Speed Record generally are your troublemakers, where they might throw you a target that is impossible unless your car's serviced. But at Spa and Nürburgring Sprint Circuit, I think those you can pull off unserviced, because your car will be unserviced by the time you reach Tier 4 in critical condition. Anyway, Tier 5, we got Elimination at Austin Track, Circuit of the Americas, Club Circuit. So that is another 2-minute 20-second survival. And then we got Hunter at Hockenheim National, so single lap, not terribly long circuit. And then the cup is at Mazda Raceway, and 2 laps with a PR requirement of 83.8. Alright, moving on. We got Autocross as circuit, the Catalunya circuit, Grand Prix. Speed Snap at the Brickyard. And the cup at Berlin. 3 laps, PR 84.4 is required. Alright, so moving on, Tier 7, we got Speed Record at Daytona Road Course. Now, Daytona Speed Record is pretty consistently one event that you have to get your car serviced. So, unlike the Ford GT limited time series, I have a feeling Tier 7 you may need to get your car serviced, but don't do it right away unless finish the cup and elimination first. Speaking of, we have a lot of eliminations in this series, don't we? I feel like, yeah, that's yeah, that's yeah, I feel like there's a lot of eliminations. I think there was 3, right? Out of 7 tiers. That's about almost half of the tiers have elimination as one of the matches. And I'm not particularly very fond of eliminations. Anyway, cup for Tier 7 at the Junior Course of Monza Circuit. 4 laps, PR 85.1 is required. Alright, moving on, Tier 8, we got Endurance at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit, Autocross at Suzuka East, and Cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix. 2 laps, PR 85.7 required. And that is, of course, 50% completion tier. Moving on, Tier 9, we got head-to-head at Hockenheim Grand Prix, single lap. And we got a Speed Snap at the 24-hour circuit. And Cup is going to be at the motorcycle course of Daytona Circuit. 3 laps, PR 86.3 is required, and it'll most likely be a rolling start. Tier 10, we got Speed Record at Catalunya National. I think Catalunya is not too bad. If you have trouble, you can always turn around at the beginning and extend that main straight, the pit straight, right, to achieve higher top speed, because I believe that's the fastest section of the circuit, the main drag. And you can just slam into the wall at the end of that straight. All right, and then we have Hunter at Red Bull Ring National Circuit, so that's a short single lap. And the Cup for Tier 10 is at Silverstone National. 5 laps, PR 86.9 is required. That's a good circuit. I mean, it's Silverstone, right? Moving on, Tier 11, we got Endurance at the Brickyard, Autocross at Dubai Hill, and the Cup at Kota Grand Prix. 3 laps. All right, so we're getting some longer race back here. PR 87.5 is required. All right, and Tier 12, the 75% completion tier, right? You got Elimination, another one. This one at Mazda Raceway. Speed Snap at Brands Hatch, which, yeah, Brands Hatch Speed Snap might require you to service your car as well. So that's the second instance I am predicting that we may need to service the car. And the Cup for Tier 12 at Spa, 3 laps, PR 88.1 is required. All right, so that was a 75% completion tier. So the final quarter, right? We got Tier 13 head-to-head at Berlin, single lap. That's gonna be pretty quick. Speed record at Leipzig, Porsche test track. I think you should be able to do that unserviced. And then the Cup for Tier 13 at Melbourne, 6 laps. Whoa. PR 88.7 is required. And Tier 14, yes, with the last year's limited time series PR, this is where you're gonna get stuck, just like the Ford limited time series we just had. Right, anyway, we got Autocross at Mount Panorama, Endurance at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix, and the Cup at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. So this one, something I'm noticing, a lot of Red Bull Ring circuit races and a good amount of elimination matches, at least earlier, like first half of the series here. 5 laps. Oh, that is a high lap count on it. This is Grand Prix circuit. Yeah, it is. PR 89.4 is required. So, yep, you need that extra upgrades here. At least that gold upgrade on the engine. And if you're getting that far, may as well finish right. So final tier, we got Elimination. Gotta put that at the end. It's at Hockenheim Short. And we got a head-to-head at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, single lap. And the final Cup is, of course, at Dubai Grand Prix. As we looked at it earlier, 4 laps, PR 90 is required. All right, so that does it for this limited time series overview. So we'll see if I decide to run through this one. Stay tuned to find out. But if you are running through, hopefully you guys found the information useful. And good luck to you. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.